What's going on, everybody? It's attorney Chris Waggener back to do another lawyer reacts video. In this video, I'm going to be reacting to a cops clip. As usual, I've got one queued up here, and I don't know what it's going to be. I'm just going to watch it and react to it. So if you like this, leave me a like, and if you want to see more stuff like this, subscribe, and then you won't miss a video that I do. All right, let's see this one. Is that Bourbon Street? It's kind of an old one.
My partner just smelled some dope in his car here, so we're gonna stop him and see what's going on.
Wait, hold on. Say
Step
that
out
again.
of the car.
See what he said.
My partner just smelled some dope in his car here, so we're gonna stop him and see what's going on.
Okay. All right. So, as I say in almost every video that I do, the approach matters. The way that the police interact with the suspects, the potential suspects, people on the street, it matters. So, he's going to conduct an investigation right now. How do I know that? Because he said, my partner smells dope. We're going to go take a look at it. All right. So, now, at least in the state of Florida, but I think this is nationwide as well, top level stuff, right? Every citizen in the United States has a Fourth Amendment right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. Now, in the old days, what that meant was that a police officer or some kind of law enforcement agency would have to actually go to a judge and get a warrant in order to conduct a search. Now, if the police are trying to go into your home, they still have to basically do that. But there are these things called exigent circumstances that are exceptions to the warrant requirement, right? So, and there's a whole laundry list of them, right? And so one of the exceptions is called plain sight. So if a police officer is just walking down the road, or like let's say they stop a car during a traffic incident and they see drugs that are sitting on the side of like in the passenger seat of the car, well, that's in plain sight. I'm a police officer. I can see that looks like marijuana. That looks like heroin. That looks like whatever. Insert name of drug here. And they can then go ahead and proceed to do a search of the vehicle, confiscate the drugs, and make the arrest for possession of drugs potentially. So that exception, the plain sight rule, has actually been expanded, at least in the state of Florida, to something called the plain smell rule. And if I'm not mistaken, it only applies to marijuana. And the reasoning goes like this. Marijuana has a very distinct smell. If a police officer smells marijuana, that plain smell of the marijuana allows them to then conduct a search of that person or the area affected by the smell of marijuana in order to conduct a search to look for the illegal substances. So under that exception, under the plain smell exception, this officer will be able to conduct a valid search.
Step out of the car.
Here's the issue. If they are indeed on Bourbon Street, which they appear to be,
Step out.
or somewhere near there, they're in downtown New Orleans.
In the back, put your hands up.
There's gonna be the smell of marijuana everywhere. How do they know it's not coming from that? Look at the open windows in the back there. How do they know it's not coming from the bar? How do they know it's not coming from? It looks like there's a door right here, right? Like this is New Orleans, right? There's alleys everywhere. There's nooks and crannies everywhere. The smell could be coming from anywhere. How do they know that it's 100% coming from? It doesn't have to be 100%, but how do they know that it's coming from that car?
Where y'all headed to? Take your hands out of your pockets. Take your hands out of your pockets. Huh?
I'm about to get my hands out of the pocket.
No, you're.
All right, what's going on here?
Look at it. He's got it in his hand.
He's making it worse. He's making it worse. Like they've already got him. Like it's a valid stop. He's struggling. They look like they work. Are they waiters?
Back up. Back up. 888. We need some help in the 900 block of
All right. So there's a lot going on here. All right. So the first guy, I guess he reached into his pockets or tried to do something. So police officers would automatically, they're going to assume that he's reaching for a weapon because that's the worst case scenario. And safety for police officers is always a priority, if not the number one priority in any engagement they go into, right? So just by him doing that, even if he's going to pull out a piece of paper or a pencil or something like that, he reached into his pocket from what I could tell. And so the police officer immediately instigates a takedown. Then the guy apparently pulls something out of his pocket. Let's just assume that it's drugs because that's probably what it's going to be. And then he resists going to the ground. Now, his resistance is making it worse. He needs to just do what the officers tell them to do because resisting like that is an extra charge. it would be most likely resisting without violence. If they're in New Orleans, I don't know the specific laws in New Orleans, but I know that in Florida, they can tack that on. So, like, let's just say he's pulling pot out of his pocket. So it's a possession of marijuana and a resisting without violence charge instead of just a possession of marijuana charge. So now the other guy, though, is starting to kind of get involved in the melee, in the scrum. And so the other police officer has noticed him doing that. He, again, officer safety is going to be paramount in their minds. He perceives that guy as potentially being a threat because he's taking a stance. He's coming into an area in which he could become a combatant in this thing. So he moves to take him down, and now they're struggling.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back.
Now they're both going to get arrested.
Hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
But the second guy should probably just be detained. I don't know if he's got enough.
Stay in that car right now. Get back in that car right now.
Give me that hand. Give me that hand.
900 contract.
You have to relax, dude. You brought this on yourself.
888 code 4, code 4.
I fought the law and the law won.
You all right, John?
I'm good, thank you. I'm not, no. Pat, are you okay?
Yeah. Look, over there.
Over that? That's it. That's all he had in his right hand. All this for that.
A very small bag of marijuana.
That's ridiculous. Possession of
not wrong
narcotics,
about
that's
that.
what we're talking about. Fighting the police. Don't you get up.
It's right here, in my hand.
Over here,
Right where you dropped it.
Where I dropped it, I want to see where when you say I dropped it. That's all.
So he's going to play dumb, which is
I have
Roll
nothing
over.
on me.
it's better than
Turn me over.
confessing.
Yo, you got my wife. I have nothing on me.
That's what they was smoking when I walked up. The big guy,
I
the
got the information.
front passenger was.
All right, so where does
Busy
that come
putting
from,
it out.
right? Where does that come from? He's saying that they were smoking that when I walked up. Maybe the cops are right. Maybe he did see him do that, but why would they wait? I mean, maybe it's because the cops' cameras were there. They waited for the cameras to come over, that wouldn't surprise me. But why would they wait? Also, again, this is downtown New Orleans. They are obviously in the French Quarter. There's going to be half-smoked cigarettes, half-smoked blunts, half-smoked joints all over the place there. So, I mean, unless he actually physically saw that guy throw that down on the ground, like, good luck pinning him with that. Also, that tiny little bit of
Trying to
weed
get
that
him
guy
out the
threw.
car. Basically, what happened was we were walking up the street from dropping off a prisoner, and a car drives by, and you could just smell real distinct smell of marijuana coming from the car. Walked up to him and smelled it even more. And as we approached, they noticed the big passenger in the front seat was covering this up with his hand and busy putting it out in the ashtray. We ordered them several times to step out of the vehicle. They ignored us. Finally got him out, and I pulled the driver out and took my attention off the passenger. And the next thing I know, I look up and my partner's fighting with him. So it just goes to show you how quick stuff can turn bad out here.
Did I pepper spray you? Because I pepper sprayed myself.
I didn't see what happened. I was pulling the car back and when I turned around.
I thought I was going to ride that dude on his back all the way down.
All right, so I don't know about all that. I don't know about using pepper spray in a situation like that. Like, I get that he's big, but, like, you're a cop, you're trained, you should be able to take that guy down, right? Like, they went to the academy, they've been trained in martial arts, all that jazz. Like, I don't know. I don't like this one. Final thoughts on this one are, I don't like how the cops handled this one. I think that they overdid it. I think the plain smell exception, if it's a valid exception in the state of New Orleans, then, the approach is going to hold up. I also think that the passenger of the vehicle didn't do himself any favors by reaching into his pockets. It's just going to, even if he didn't have anything illegal in his pockets, it's just going to set off the police like it set off the police. And then he struggled when they tried to take him to the ground. No one wants to go to jail. No one wants to get arrested. But that's the problem. That's one of the things I hope that these videos kind of help show people is that, the cops are going to do whatever the cops are going to do. You want to put yourself in a position that is as advantageous for you as possible if you ever find yourself in a situation that does involve the police. Because if they're going to arrest you, they're going to arrest you. If they have to call in the entire police department to come subdue you and arrest you, they're going to do it, whether the arrest is good or not. Unfortunately, it's just the way that the system works. And it's up to criminal defense attorneys to go in and sort the mess out, and state attorneys for that matter, to go in and sort the mess out in the days, weeks, months after the arrest takes place. So in this situation, I don't know what they ended up charging that guy with, but they could easily have charged him with resisting without violence. They could have charged him with resisting with violence because he was fighting against them. So it just depends on how that cop's feeling at the time. It doesn't mean that's what stuck. It doesn't mean that's what ended up being charged or what the state attorney decided that they wanted to pursue. But it's just more of a mess for that guy that realistically was just smoking some pot in his car, probably on the way to work or on the way from work. So I hope you guys like this one, and I'll see you on the next one.